Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity Character Showcase. And today, we are going to be looking at a character who is perfect in every way. A character who can do no wrong, and her name is Princess Zelda. So, the thing about Zelda is that she does start off with a Sheikah Slate, but I haven't been able to do a video for that one just yet. And I want to focus on the Bow of Light. Bow of Light is an ability that she gets later on in the story, and in my opinion, is one of the most fun movesets in the entire game. It's a very, very empowering kind of moveset, and a lot of it revolves around knowing when to switch in and out of luminescent forms, and maximizing your luminescent forms sparingly, while still doing as much damage as you possibly can. Part of what makes this particular moveset so great too is that it does require you to think a little bit more about which combos you use by virtue of one of your attacks having one half of that moveset having to do with properties that surround your enemies in rings of light, and then the other half of the moveset revolving around the light arrows, which can be augmented if used after the rings of light. So what I mean by that is that you're effectively just doing status afflictions. You hit them with those status afflictions, and then you switch over, and then you do your arrows of light, and you'll end up doing more damage as it is. As you progress through the game, you're going to upgrade how many light arrows fall from the sky as a result. Luminescent is a lot of fun to play with, and it's important to know how you should set up your abilities with a limited time, using them sparingly. Having more special charge rate would be very, very useful, especially for extended periods of play. And also, the thing about the Luminescent Form is just the setup. So, when you're doing regular attacks in Luminescent Form, you get the Arrow Rain, which is very reminiscent of the Rapier moveset from Hyrule Warriors 1. And then you also have a couple of other options. You have the Strong Attack, Rain Light from the Heavens, because that's great. I don't use this particular one very often, but I'm pretty sure that using it to break weak point gauge would be very, very useful. It's definitely a possibility. You can mix and match and whatever fits your preference, but primarily what I like to use is the left bumper special. So the strong attack with the left bumper, you throw a bit of a time bomb. It does take some time. It's very similar to the combo 5 that Zelda uses in the non-luminescent form. It's very, very good because you can set that up, or you can set up two of them, and freeze them, and then while they're being frozen, the bombs will detonate themselves. And the moment you use any of the Sheikah runes, you'll go back to normal form. So just keep that in mind too when you're like kind of choosing what your next decisions are. And then there is the left bumper light attack, which is the laser beams. These attacks actually hit twice. This is what I primarily use to break the weak point gauges. But like I said, the thing about this game is that you can mix and match a lot of your combos. A lot of it's to do with style. What really matters is how powerful your weapons are in tandem with the difficulty setting that you're playing on. And then, of course, in the Luminescent Form, the last move I haven't pointed out is the B button. This is the one that just inflicts a large trap onto the ground, and if they walk over that trap, then they're going to get hit, and they will be surrounded by a ring of light, resulting in your light arrows doing more damage, like so. In terms of her regular moveset, there is the pretty standard combo 2. It sends you up into the air, but I don't find it particularly consistent. I don't use this very much. You can do 4 hits in the air, and you can finish off with a strong attack, which sends you back down to the air, which shoots arrows. This counts as an arrow attack, so if they're hit with the Ring of Light first, you'll do bonus damage. The next attack is the combo 3. This is, again, just another Ring of Light thing that you can do. I don't use this one as much either, but it is something that you can do. If you don't like using that, like, I don't know, for me, my own personal playstyle for applying rings of light around my enemies is just using dashing strong attacks, because it's like I'm always in a rush, I'm always trying to move to the next thing, and it's also a good way to build up your special meter too. So dashing strong attack works just fine for this end. Next one is the combo 4. This is a good one for, yeah, like just doing some single target damage. Again, it's a light arrow attack, so that'll again do the bonus damage. And then there is the combo 5. Combo 5, let's see. Combo 5 is when she sets up a bomb. This could actually be very, very useful if you are going to do this before going into a luminescent form, and then throwing another bomb, then going to stasis, and then you would have 2 bombs for the price of 1, if that's something that, if you want to be really stingy with your meter. And of course there is the combo 6, where you shoot a light arrow that will expose the weak point gauge. This is a very, very risky move to do, like most combo 6s, because you're going to be vulnerable for quite some time. But the good thing about this, though, is that because there is a secondary explosion that follows that up, you can, in fact, do a dashing strong attack, or you can dash cancel out of that attack, do a strong attack or a regular attack to get just that extra bit of weak point gauge damage, and then go for the stasis, and you'll have much more damage compared to most weak point gauge exposures, even though it doesn't last for very, very long. That's all I could really say, though. It's better that I just demonstrate straight ahead what exactly I do when it comes to overall, like the rotation of all her different skills. Every move that she does has its own specific purpose. Like I mentioned, there are the skills that inflict the status infliction, and then there are the skills that capitalize on that status infliction, and that's part of what makes Zelda so dynamic. So we're gonna go ahead, jump ahead, show you guys what she's made of. Okay, so we're going to kick things off on our demonstration with Deep Woods, Deep Shadow. This is going to be a very, very challenging map, especially with a character like Zelda, where, for the most part, if you're playing characters with long wind-up times on the combos, you may wish to adapt a different playstyle. Looking at Zelda over here, I've given her Bow of Light, I've upgraded almost to max, and I like to primarily focus on attack speed. Having faster attack speed means that I'll have the correct combo that I want as soon as possible. The amount of damage that those combos do isn't nearly as important as what the effects of those combos actually are, so I want to get that kind of out of the way here, with a whopping 20% extra attack speed. I've also increased the special attack charge rate. The reason why I want to do that should be fairly obvious. I don't care as much about special meter, because the thing about Zelda is that she's very good at capitalizing on the weak point gauge exposures of the enemies without needing to rely on using special to actually bring that about in the first place. So that's what we got here. We're going to be using Luminescent Form as our primary breaking source. In terms of food recipe, you really can't go wrong with bringing up special charge rates. I might as well bring up the special charge rate for the purposes of this. Don't want to go for broke though, just the one should be good enough for us, but if you guys are struggling, feel free to start stacking them up as many as you want. So yeah, let's go ahead. Okay, so on the additional note in regards to me being very conservative with the special, primarily saving it for luminescence, using them both in tandem with each other can be very potent if you have a plan. And in my case, if I line up enemies, the special tag that she does is a straight light arrow shot taken out of the first Hyrule Warriors game, but by switching to Luminescent Form and then hitting them with the laser beams, you can actually nail both of them at the same time. This is very, very key, because if you break both weak point gauges at the same time, the one weak point gauge smash will affect both enemies, and that's something that's very valuable for the purposes of just kind of lightening the load of the actual map itself. Okay, so you want to avoid the damage from these Lizalfos. They're everywhere. You want to make sure all the Lizalfos in this map are dead. There is a timer to this, so just be very, very careful with that. But for now... Okay, so what I do is that I do one bomb. So that is the left trigger strong attack, and then I follow that up with 2 lasers, which is the left trigger regular attack twice, and then into a stasis. The reason why is because that bomb is on a timer, and by the time the bomb is... Oh, you're kidding me. Okay, sorry, the actual stasis bombs, or Sheikah bombs, are kind of difficult to pull off, though. Wouldn't recommend it as much unless you're clearing crowds. But yeah, that bomb is a timer, and it's going to explode during the stasis. Unlike Impa or most other characters with unique stasis animations, Zelda's cannot be broken out of. But to compensate for that, though, it is actually quite strong for the purposes of breaking the weak point gauge. Let's see what the Stalnox has for us today. So again, go for the bomb. Oh, I was too slow. You know what? I should have just done like 2 bombs in stasis. I think that would have been better. I was too late on the follow-up there. So go for it again. Also, it's really good for getting that extra damage out as well. Alright, so that food dish that we put out is actually coming in handy for us. What's he gonna do? Jump up in the air? Oh yeah. Okay. So freeze. While those bombs are going off, that's the thing, like, it seems like you don't have enough, and that's why you may be tempted to stall before doing stasis, but those bombs are actually quite potent, those glowing bombs that she throws out for the left trigger strong attack. We need a better terminology for that one, because that's a bit of a mouthful. Okay, so here's the deal. This next section of the map is going to face us with 3 guardians, 2 very frail ones, and one not so frail one. It's a fire guardian, I believe. Thing is, though, we are in a raining map right now, and I have the thunder rod, so that might be something we can look into. If I could line those 2 up, that would be perfect. No, we'll just do what we can here. At least destroy that one guardian. Oh, freeze him? Yep. Oh, yeah. And I think that one's going to be alive, but I have a very, very good long-ranged option. So we can actually pull back, focus on that guardian, laser beams, and that is that. Okay, and yeah, ice. Very easy stuff. Again, my regular rotation when it comes to the weak point gauges is 1 left bumper, or ZL, you want to call it ZL? 1, we need better terminology. But it's the Luminescent strong attack, left bumper is strong attack, and then followed by 2 regular attacks on the left trigger. We need better terminology for that one. I guess alternate regular attack. We'll call them alternates, yes. So, my regular rotation in terms of using Zelda for breaking weak point gauges is going to be 2 alternate luminescent strong attacks, followed... Sorry, no, 1 strong attack, 1 alternate strong attack, and then 2 alternate regular attacks. I very rarely use the regular attacks, simply because, like, I'd rather just quickly get the damage out as soon as possible, as quickly as possible. Okay, we're up against 2 stone taluses here, and the nice thing about the alternative, the alternate luminescent regular attacks is that you can actually hit the lasers from all the way up there. So yeah, that's something we can take advantage of as well. This is a particular map where using Cryonis will also help, because we are in the middle of the water, and that's another thing that you might want to take advantage of as well, if you happen to not have any like ice rods or anything like that. Can go back, luminescence. If we line them up too, we can actually hit them both with the same weak point smash. Alright. Normally the Stone Taluses require a bit of a song and dance, but when you're playing as Luminescent Zelda, you can just fire off from a distance. Look how much damage that is too. To be fair though, this is like a level 100 Zelda with an almost maxed out, but this is also on hard mode, so like it kind of evens out. For most people that are like, if you're playing on regular, you should be seeing a very, very similar damage output, if not more damage output on your end, so yeah. Okay, oh, gotta be careful here, there's so many. The best way to build meter, in my experience, is just to spam the dashing strong attack, keep them all up in the air, keep them occupied, and then hitting them with the occasional, like, combo 4, combo 5. The combo 4 is the one where she shoots light arrows into the air. Or you can just do standing strong attacks too, that's another way to do it. Yeah, just do anything that you can to build up the special meter, and that may also have to do with the weapon seals that you apply. How do I do this? I should have aimed that better. The thing is, I want to get rid of these guys because there's going to be a fairly climactic battle, and I don't want any interruptions during that fight. We're fighting against two silver Lionels at the same time. Is that all of them? Yes. So you also notice that with the Cryonis, she does a follow-up attack immediately. It doesn't always land, so... But for the most part, though, if you're using the Cryonis properly, you shouldn't need it to land. It's more of a bonus than anything else. There we go. And we got both of them at once. I don't think this will kill, though. Okay, good, it does. But the thing about this particular thing, too, is that I need to be able to conserve my special meter as best as I can. Yeah, I need to conserve my special, have as much as I can for... So we're actually going to be very, very sparing here. Thankfully, the stasis actually does a fair amount of weak point gauge damage. And that's that. Now we gotta fight into the silver Lionels, and this is tricky, but the best thing I can do, or advise here, for this specific map, is just use Thunder Rods. It's raining out. The thing about silver Lionels is that they tend to be fairly elemental resistant, but because it's raining and we're on the wet grounds, lightning rods will do just fine. And if you can, try to get them one at a time too. It's not always possible, but yeah, just like do what you can in that scenario. Okay, here it comes. Oh, it came out so late. I wasn't sure if it was gonna go. Okay, that was my bad. Okay, get whatever breaks we can. For the most part, you want to punish the glyphs, but like things like the bomb option, that's not always advised because it comes out so slowly and doesn't necessarily hit. It doesn't necessarily hit before he can. I think the only person that can consistently punish that is Link. Oh, you're kidding me with this. We're doing poorly. What? Wait. That's better. Alright, I guess we're gonna have to be using the lightning rods anyway. I was hoping to get some of that. Oh, this looks bad. Okay. Be very careful here. I'm gonna follow this up with some Luminescent. It's very, very fast. If we can survive this, that'll be great. Oh, why are the Lizalfos here? I didn't realize the Lizalfos were still alive. I thought I cleared them all out. Oh, man, I thought I could... Okay, we're doing that again. That's fine. Learn from our mistake. We have to clear out those Lizalfos first. I thought I got them all, but I guess they were still hidden. Yeah, I was hoping to dash forward, but it didn't come out in time. So I was hit by the other Lionel. But that's okay, we just have to learn from those kinds of mistakes. There's Lizalfos here. Shows just how helpful Revali is. He just let all those live. There it is. So again, go into Luminescent. One bomb and two regular attacks. Sorry, two alternate regular attacks, and that should be it. Yeah, no, you know what? Why even give him a chance? Just go for it. Don't even give them that chance. Just using the power of magic. Why not? Okay, so that's one Lionel down. And now we just gotta worry about that other one. And worrying about him isn't really something I plan on doing, because we're gonna deal with him real nice and easy. Okay, there we go. Again, for those of you guys that I'm sorry that you can't see. Normally, I would just let it like explain itself, but again, in Luminescent Form, use the left bumper, the alternative strong attack, once, where she throws out that bowling ball bomb, and then 2 light beams. And if you have a stasis, go ahead and use a stasis. But in the case of these Lionels, though, we're using the specials and the lightning rods. We don't need to do that. But yeah, very, very fun, very magical, mage-like kind of. She feels much more magey in comparison to like Robin or Leo from Fire Emblem Warriors. While I liked those ones, I like the sort of like magic spells, throwing all that power out from the forefront. It felt a lot more dynamic in the case of Luminescent Zelda here. But yeah, one of my favorite movesets in the overall game, I think. It kind of encapsulates that trope that I really enjoy in video games, where in a cutscene you see a character being really, really powerful, and you actually get to play as that really powerful character right after that. And this is pretty much the moveset. The moveset is this insanely powerful power of the goddess kind of deal going on, the goddess Hylia. And getting to be able to use that in a very real sense is probably one of my favorite parts about Age of Calamity overall. Anyways, guys, thank you very, very much for joining me on this very special showcase of the Luminescent Zelda Bow of Light, and I will see you guys the next time, so we can see some more madness across the roster and the diversity of how each and every character has a chance to shine, literally and figuratively. See you guys next time.